What is going on, Pats Nation? You guys already know who it is. Patriots Global here, back with another video. And in this one, we're going to be talking about a couple of rumors I'm hearing involving the New England Patriots here at the trade deadline. There's about 8 players that I'm hearing teams are contacting the New England Patriots front office about a potential trade for. I do not know the last time I've heard this many Patriots players at once having so much trade interest. So before we get into that video, we got to make sure we roll that Patriots Global intro. Now, I am hearing that there is interest on both sides of the football, essentially meaning offense and defense, but I will say it's like 90 to 95% offense, meaning that opposing teams are really trying to get these Patriots offensive weapons with all these offensive struggles New England is having. Now, obviously, shipping off these guys isn't going to put the Patriots in any position to do better offensively if they get rid of them, because with that being said, the guys on this list 100% do have value, okay? We're not talking about the Patriots getting trade interest for guys like Marcus Cannon or Yannick Kajust or Pierre Strong or anything like that. These are starting players for the New England Patriots. And to start off, let's go with wide receivers, because the New England Patriots are getting a lot of calls on their wide receivers. First up here, Jacoby Myers. This should not surprise anyone. Jacoby Myers is, at least right now, going to be the best wide receiver on the open market come March, when 2023 new league year starts and free agency begins again for the 2023 season. A lot of receivers that were ahead of him had gotten signed to contract extensions. Now, of course, receivers are going to be let go. It's just a question on which receivers are going to be let go. Are those guys better than Jacoby or not as good as Jacoby? But at this current time I'm making this video, Jacoby is going to be the number one wide receiver on the market, meaning that he's going to get a bag. So a lot of teams looking to trade for him now, sign into that contract extension, but also, you get to plug him in, and he's a wide receiver 1 to wide receiver 2 for you. He is a true game changer. Now, as for Jacoby Myers, me personally, I don't think the Patriots are going to trade him. We're hearing that the Patriots are actually still in contract talks with Jacoby Myers, trying to get that contract extension done. As y'all can see Chase back there. Of course, he hops in now. But the Patriots are still trying to get a contract extension done with Jacoby Myers. We're hearing rumors that they might try to pick up those talks again during the Patriots bye week here in just a couple of weeks. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, because after that, it's right back to game day. It's right back to football. But during the offseason, they were heavily trying to get a deal done, but just were not able to meet sides. Now, next up on this list, it's not a wide receiver, but it still goes to the offense and pass catchers. Hunter Henry. We're hearing a lot of trade interest involving him. Ultimately, I don't think New England decides to ship him off either. Had a great year last year, especially once we reached the red zone. He was a big touchdown machine for New England, especially with Mac Jones. This offense has a lot to figure out. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, Mac Jones isn't going. These receivers aren't really going. Hunter Henry has got nothing going. It's not him. It's the offense. It's the issues that everyone else is having. It's the scheme. It's the coaching. Hunter Henry's not the problem. He is signed not just for the rest of this year, but also next year, as where Jacoby is only signed for the rest of this year, and then he hits the open market. So I think that will up the trade value for someone like Hunter Henry. I think Jacoby Myers, on that other hand, could get probably a 3rd round pick if New England did ship him off. But again, I just don't see a world in which they do that. As for Hunter Henry, if New England did ship him off, I could see them getting around a 4th round pick for him, just depending on how big that market is for him. Unfortunately, not having a great season, nowhere compared to last year. So how high is that market going to be for him right now, and how much of a push can they make for compensation is going to be that big question. With Jonnu Smith already dealing with injuries and New England having absolutely no tight ends behind them, I don't see New England looking to trade Hunter Henry or Johnny Smith, especially with how much 12 personnel that they've been running in these two tight end sets. I think it's something they want to continue to do, so I don't see that happening. Next up here, Damien Harris. Okay. We're hearing that teams are contacting the Patriots about their running back, specifically Damien Harris. They're obviously not going to move on from Ramondre Stevenson. Damien's in contract year. Okay. Do I think he's going to re-sign with the Patriots? That's another video you guys are just going to essentially have to wait for. But we've already heard that the Patriots have turned down these offers, but that doesn't mean that a player still can't be traded. New England's currently trading down those offers for Damien, but if someone sends something too good for them to turn down, they might have to do it. Damien is in contract year. And again, that question is going to be, do they re-sign him or not? Because he's not RB1 for this team. It's been pretty clear for a while now that RB1 is Ramondre Stevenson. The first 2 weeks, Damien got more snaps than Ramondre, but since then, Ramondre has been getting more snaps and has been that true bell cow running back here for the New England Patriots over the last several weeks, especially with Damien getting injured and having to miss just last week essentially, but still proving that Ramondre is this RB1. Patriots also drafted Pierre Strong. They drafted Kevin Harris. Is it really going to be a spot for Damien? If the Patriots get a good enough offer, I could see Damien being shipped off just so they can get something out of him. But I also think if you're going to do that, you have to be comfortable with who your RB2 is. And I just don't think they're comfortable enough with Pierre or Kevin Harris to be able to ship off Damien at this point. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to have Ramondre Stevenson run through the ground and then by, 3/4 of the season, he's just dry. He can't run anymore. He's too gassed out. So that's another rumor we're hearing. I don't think New England will do it, especially because, guys, trade deadline is 4 p.m. November 1st. That is this Tuesday, just a couple of days away. I don't see New England making that move by then. Now, next up, like I said, we're hearing a lot of trade interest for the Patriots wide receivers. And that makes a lot of sense. A lot of teams in this league need wide receiver help. We just saw Kadarius Toney get traded from the Giants to the Chiefs. The Packers are heavily interested in trading for a wide receiver. I could even see the Giants looking to trade for a wide receiver. There are a lot of teams looking to add, especially at wideout. So this makes a lot of sense. I don't think New England is going to ship off Devontae Parker. They, at one point, were making Devontae Parker the wide receiver one. He was getting the most snaps for a couple of weeks. He was actually getting 100% of offensive snaps, which I don't agree with, but goes to show how much they value him. The splash plays that New England is currently getting so far in this offense through 8 weeks has been through Devontae Parker. So I don't see them shipping him off. Did he start the way I think we were expecting? No. Does he have room to improve still? Yes. But again, week in and week out, we're seeing those big plays down the field that they wanted from Hunter Henry, or excuse me, not Hunter Henry, but N'Keal Harry, but never got. Seems like they found that guy here with Devontae Parker, and he's even still signed through next year. I think that Devontae Parker could potentially be in the Patriots' long-term plans. So 100% don't see them shipping off Parker by any means necessary. Now, next up, Kendrick Bourne. Unfortunately, this is one we are continuously hearing. And there's one team that I keep hearing going on and on and on about a potential Kendrick Bourne sweepstakes. And that's going to be the Packers, okay? If Kendrick Bourne gets traded, I'm predicting the Packers. You heard it here first. This is a rumor that I'm hearing, and it's being reported by Patriots Global. So if Kendrick Bourne gets traded and he goes to the Packers, y'all gotta hype me up here in the comment section, all right? But that's what I'm hearing right now. There's a lot of interest here for Kendrick Bourne. We've been hearing this all the way even in the offseason, before the season started, and the rumors and the interest is still there. What could the Patriots get in a trade for Kendrick Bourne? That's the question. He signed through the rest of this year. He signed through next year. He's on a very, very, very friendly contract deal, a little over $3 million just for this season. So I really think the Patriots could get a 3rd-round pick easily, especially with all the interest. Depending on how much interest, maybe they could push a 2nd, or maybe they could push a 3rd and a later round pick too. That's definitely something that I could see. Again, it all comes down to value. What are teams willing to give up? Because again, there are a lot of teams interested in Kendrick Bourne, who just last season put up almost a 1,000-yard season if he was able to stay healthy. And of course, all those penalties were not committed against him. That took away a big portion of his big time plays. So Kendrick Bourne, that is a big one, my friends. That is a big one to watch, especially now that he is healthy. Nelson Aguilar is another one. I hope they don't trade Kendrick Bourne. I hope they find a way to get him involved. That is one of my favorite players and a guy who's able to produce last year. They just have to get him involved this year. Nelson Aguilar, on the other hand, a lot of teams interested in him. He could go to Las Vegas. He could go to Green Bay. There are a lot of teams that are interested in having a deep threat, a guy who can give them some splash plays, and Nelson Aguilar does still fit under that category. He is someone that's had a lot of issues with fumbles, so I think a lot of Patriots fans would be okay with him being shipped off. With Tyquan Thornton coming in and looking really good, the Patriots do still have that speedster, so if they shipped off Aguilar, they would be fine. I think too, if the Patriots want to get all these receivers snaps, and if they still want to put in someone like a Lil Jordan Humphrey into the mix, you have to get rid of a receiver. You have to. And unfortunately, you have till Tuesday to get compensation out of those guys. And if not, that guy is just going to have to be cut at that point or placed on season-ending injured reserve. So again, I think Aguilar could be a guy that's on his way out. I hate to say it, but it could be between Aguilar and Bourne. If the Patriots make any moves at all, I would expect it to be between one of those guys. What could they get for Aguilar? The contract's not great. It's pretty feisty. And he's in contract year also. I think New England could get maybe like a 5th round pick, is essentially what I'm thinking here for Aguilar, which I'm not against whatsoever, depending on how big that sweepstakes is for Aguilar. Maybe they can push a 4th, but I'm going to go with a 5th here for right now. Wouldn't hate to see Aguilar shipped off and pick up some compensation there, but also wouldn't hate to see him kept around also. One more offensive player here, then I want to get on to the one defensive player that I'm hearing rumors about. Isaiah Wynn shouldn't surprise anyone. Like I said, this is the last time that teams can kind of rebuild themselves to get to the Super Bowl in just a couple of months here. So teams are going to do so. And the offensive line, very important for all offensive success, whether that's running the ball or just keeping your quarterback protected enough to get something out of the passing game. Isaiah Wynn, able to play right tackle. He's been playing that all this year. Able to play left tackle, played that the majority of his career. So has a lot of versatility depending on where a team needs him. I think that there would be not a lot of interest here for Isaiah Wynn just based off of that contract, that fully guaranteed contract that he has, and he's in contract year. And he is the most penalized offensive lineman in the entire National Football League. I also think there's no player that's been penalized as much as Isaiah Wynn has also, not even just offensive line, but just in general, which is insane. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of interest for Isaiah Wynn because of that injury history. He's in contract year, that cap number, and the penalty problems. Because of that, I don't think there's going to be a huge market. And I think the Patriots honestly are probably going to get somewhere between a 4th to probably a 5th round pick. I don't think that they're going to trade him just because at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, does giving him away really, how do I put this into words? Is giving him away a better option than what you're going to get by keeping him? And unfortunately, I just don't think so. Marcus Cannon is kind of being plugged in right now as that starter, but you don't really have a guy behind him comfortably to say if Marcus Cannon goes down, you can plug this guy in. And they're still kind of switching Isaiah Wynn and Marcus Cannon out. So it's a trade that I definitely think has potential and has legs, but I don't think New England's going to get what they want out of Wynn to be able to say, hey, we're going to ship him off. But the 8th player I'm hearing rumors about, and it's just our only defensive player I'm hearing about, which is a little surprising, Jabril Peppers. This is one I was not expecting, but there are a lot of teams that do need some safety help, one of which being the Eagles. The Eagles are contacting team about trying to add a safety. Wouldn't surprise me if they're contacting the Patriots about adding Jabril Peppers by any means. Peppers has been very good. He's been very versatile. He's really played a rover role for the New England Patriots so far this year, something we thought Jalen Mills was going to play, and he's looked really good. I think the Patriots like not Jalen Mills, but Jabril Peppers rather. But unfortunately, for other teams, I should say, the New England's in a point where they can't really ship off any defensive backs, let alone safeties, because of injuries we're having. Kyle Duggar seems to be getting injured every single week. Adrian Phillips going on and off with injuries. Devin McCourty obviously is an old vet at this point. we had a lot of bodies there at safety, but it's slowly starting to shrink. And I think if you get rid of Jabril Peppers, you're kind of having to force somebody like Miles Bryant to safety or have someone like Joshua Bledsoe playing a starting role. So I don't see that happening. But like always, this is a storyline to watch. Jabril Peppers is also only signed to a 1-year contract. So something to keep an eye on. But these are 8 players I'm hearing that are receiving trade interest from other teams that are here signed from the New England Patriots. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Any of these players you think are going to be traded? And is there any player I didn't mention that you think could potentially be traded from this team by November 1st? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video and subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, I appreciate you guys for watching, and go Pats.